Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a new type of video. We're going to be doing a building tutorial. I've been getting a lot of requests for this in my shorts and TikToks. By the way, if you don't follow me on TikTok, go to the link down below and follow me please, and on Twitter. But here is the build. I'm going to show you a nice little view of it right now, and then we're going to get into it. Hopefully this all goes well because it's the first time I've done it. But yeah, I've got this nice little layout for you. Show you what it looks like right here if you want to follow along. Okay, to begin with, we're going to go in and start with some logs to structure the build. Just place logs on each of the red wool, going up 4 each time. The green wool will be filled in as the main section of the wall in just another second. And we can also do these. And we're just going to go around and connect every single. Okay, now that we've got that all connected, to start, I'm going to go around and I'm going to do stone brick for the bottom. Alright, now how we're going to fill this in is with stripped birch logs. I think this is a really good texture and it fits really well with spruce logs. I know nobody ever uses birch, but we're going to make use of it here. Alright, now we have this plain, basic little box. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through and just add some texture. And to do that, we're going to use birch planks. For the upper, you just want to put them sparingly. And we're going to use mossy stone bricks and cracked stone bricks to put some texture on the bottom. Try not to overdo this. If you do like something like that, then it kind of looks a little bit janky. It kind of loses the feel that you want to go for. Same thing with the moss stone bricks. That's not what you want it to look like. You want just some sparing placement around just to try to give that worn in feel. And that will really help builds. Not just this build, but for future builds that you do. Big help. Also, I really suggest, I think this is probably one of the biggest mistakes people make when building, is before you start building, obviously when you're making a build, you should draw out at least a plan for your build, and that's how I start all of my builds, no exception. Right, so now you can see we got texture around most of this. Don't make it too random. Sometimes there are going to be patterns that occur. We're actually going to move this pull back 1. Alright, so I'm sorry if I messed that up, but hopefully you guys will be able to forgive me when you're following along. Alright, we are going to take some stone brick stairs at this point to go up. Just like this. You're going to follow me up. Now that we are here, we're going to grab some stone brick slabs. Over. And just to support. Do this up. This is going to be another 3. We're going to have to get rid of these red wool markers underneath. They're just an indication for where to place these things. Just trying to get a nice little arc here just to follow along. I mean, it is hard, but I think that looks alright. So we'll just duplicate that on this side as well. We're gonna do the same thing here. This is gonna be our doorway. This is a personal choice. I personally like to throw upside down stairs on all my doorways, either facing in or facing out. It's a personal decision, but personally that's how I like it, so that's how we're gonna do it for this. And now we are going to raise all of these pillars up another 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 3. 3. 3. 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And now we actually have to erase it one more, so we're just gonna go around one more time. Alright, now we're gonna go back through and we are going to do floors, just so we're gonna come back and do it at a less convenient time. We're using cobblestone for the downstairs flooring, because obviously the main door is on the 2nd floor, so this is going to be treated more as a basement and a storage room than as living space for the rest of the house. This house is massive, but I want it to be able to be used in not only a decorative sense, I want it to be able to be used in a survival sense as well. So we gotta have some room for some survival necessities down in the basement, but upstairs, that's where we make it look pretty. Oh. There we go. Starting to come together. We are going to do the same level or walls for this floor as we did for the level below, without the stone brick. But before that, we need to do the 2nd floor for the interior. You can do whatever you like for this. Personally, I'm just going to use oak planks. Now that we've got the flooring, we can start to build out the 2nd floor. Now this is where we're going to add some more detail to it on either side of this front protrusion. You're just going to place 2 support blocks. From there, we're going to build up 3 on either side. And you can go and break the support blocks. Alright, now we can go and we can connect all of the logs above. It is still looking pretty boxy, but as soon as we start the roofing, it's instantly going to go away. Alright, so now we're going to go through and just fill up all of these. Alright, now we need to go through again, and we're going to do more birch just as supporting. Now we're going to throw some spruce just to make it look. It's here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now we are moving on to the roof section. This is gonna be a 2-3-story house, but we do not have to build up another box. The boxes are getting a little old. We're gonna go through both long sides and remove logs. Just trying to give it a real sense of depth against the build. Try not to make it look too flat. Become a common build problem. Now we're going to bricks all around the outside. Every time you go in. Also going to place 1 block. This gives it a more pointed feel, which can really contribute to your building. Once you get up to the top one, you're going to give it a little bit more of a slope. Put that there. Above. And then that is grand arc for this section of the build. You're then going to replicate this across onto the other side and duplicate it. We're going to follow this around again. And then we are going to do it in the front. We are not going to do the way to make it more slanted. We are just going to do it straight up. This will make the mixture of the two and the junction look much better, having varying heights, and it's not any more complicated to connect. Just a no-brainer. This is a much smaller version, but same exact thing. Now we actually have to raise this up one more. Then similar to the front one. This just gives much more texture. The roofline is actually one of the most important parts to your builds. Besides the overall shape, the roofline is probably the second most important part of your build. So you want to make sure that it isn't boring to look at, because it is one of the most defining parts. Now, there are a couple different ways you can go about this roofing. You can stick with the traditional brick stairs, but you can also use any of these other red stairs. There's now a ton of them in the game. Even if you wanted to, you could definitely use any of these green ones. They can look together. So many of these stairs look great here. I'll just give you a nice little example. I'm personally a fan of two-tone. It really is completely up to you. Well, I'm honestly gonna do all of these just so maybe you can see what you would like to use here. I think that might be all of them. Whichever one looks the best to you, I think, is the one you should undoubtedly choose. Don't let what I choose influence you. That being said, I think I like these mangrove stairs the best for this. If you find a better one, please leave it down in the comments down below. I'd love to see what you guys decide to do with this. I'm going to show you just how you mix these together. First, you're going to start by going straight across with this mangrove and coming across again. It might be a little bit less convenient to do it this way in survival, but it does assure for the best way of meshing together. If you would like to do it just based off the final product, then that is definitely a viable way of combining them. Just for me to make sure it's as smooth as possible and I don't make any mistakes, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the majority of this wall, at least where this wall would connect. And then I'm going to connect this. Now, the best way to connect this, you can either use brick slabs. I'll show you the 2 slab options you have here as well, just so you can make. You can either do that, kind of continue the line in, or make it look like that. Personally, the way I tend to address these junctions is the main line, I'll give it a brick slab. That includes up here, I'll give it brick slab. Otherwise, I'll just hit it with a mangrove slab, and that tends to look pretty dang good. So that's how we're going to do it here, but if you like it better the other way, then I fully encourage you to do that. We're also going to do the same thing here. The best way to make sure these don't look stupid is fill in your wall however you'd like to do it. Birch is kind of a basic way to do it. Personally, I prefer to use either stripped spruce or stripped oak, depending on your use case. For this section, I believe I'm going to use stripped spruce. Just like that, you can see it kind of is all starting to come together. Again, this is without windows, this is without doors, this is without anything surrounding it, giving it the details that bring it to life. But this is just the beginning. And I think it's already starting to look pretty good. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. If you want to be a little bit more overkill, you can actually bring it out one more and then put that all on supports. I will actually show you how to do that on this side, and just so you know what it looks like, so you can choose. I'll actually do it on the I'll do it on this side, just so you can choose which one you personally prefer more. I think this is all about personal preference, so you really have to take it into account before you decide any of these things. What I think looks best will be different from what you think looks best, and that what you think looks best is what's important. We're gonna go around and we're gonna break all of this. I'm gonna leave this in the center, and we are going to place stairs on all of these. Then we're gonna bring it out one more. And then we're gonna go in and just break all of this spruce. Do not break the birch down below. The birch is meant to be. Now we're gonna go bring that up, make it more even for the interior. That doesn't matter for the exterior. And now we're gonna extend the brick stairs one more. Let me grab my bricks back. The brick stairs one more, and just do how we did in the beginning. Continue this down as well. Now we're gonna bring this up, just matching it with the mangrove. And now you see where we have a little bit more detail here. Just have it pop out a little bit more, and that just gives it a little bit more depth, which will make it look a lot better, in my opinion. I'm going to leave it up to you guys for you to decide which you prefer best. This or this. I like the depth more, but like I said, that's completely up to you. What you're gonna notice is if you extend here, you are gonna have a little bit of extra space. I think you can either throw in a brick or mangrove stair. Either way, brick probably looks a little bit better, so that's what I'm gonna choose to do here. Just throw it in that corner, and that'll fill up that hole and provide a nice. Right, and then now, like I said, I prefer the brick up top. You don't need to do the brick up top. You can leave it with the mangrove, but I like the brick texture. Now you can see it's really starting to take shape here. This is not enough, though. I think we need to give it a little bit more detail before we go in and start adding windows and start adding the small details. We're going to do the big details. Alright, so we're gonna bring it out. Do a nice little tower here. It's 3 by 3. And dig it in so it looks completely centered. We'll then work on this from the inside as well. But do this down. Make it look more normal for the rest of the house. You still want it to look like it fits in. Here we're gonna raise it one more, and then we're gonna begin on its roof. Alright, now we're gonna come around the entire outside. Turn it into a 5 space 5. A 5 here and 5 here, but you're not gonna fill in the. Okay, so we are actually going to do a nice 3x3. We're going to raise the center by 1 each. Now, we're going to use the mangrove planks to make it look more contiguous with the rest of the house. Then, mangrove planks up. Mangrove planks up again. Now you're going to bring up another star. And then the center is going to come up 3. Grab your mangrove fence. And you're going to fences on either side. We're actually going to replace these fences here with walls. Tons of options here. Brick is probably the obvious choice. You can also use mud brick or granite, just anything that fits with your color scheme. I'm going to use brick. I think it looks not as good, but fairly good. So we're gonna use that just as some more texturing. And that's going to be our nice little accent tower in the middle there. So here you can see now we are finally at a closer silhouette to that of the actual house. But not quite there yet. I'm going to pull out this side as well to make it look more uniform with that side of the house, just so you can see how we work together, or how it all will all look together. Although, if you do not decide to do it this way and you decide to leave it like this where it's more flat because you like this more, then the rest of the build will still be compatible with that, so don't worry. And there you go. Now that that is raised out, that gives us more space on the interior and it makes it a bigger overall footprint in your world. But also using more detail on the side. It's probably better to show from this side. But yeah, here we go. Alright, now is when the real transformation begins. We're going to go through and do windows, do all those small details that are just necessary in builds like this. First little detail, we're going to limit that to 2 and 2 fence. We're going to do that on either side. 2 fence. A little bit more detail. We're just going to throw in some glass here and there. Here are windows. Starts to add some detail. Okay, now we're going to go back and add some more logs to the build. These are more of detailing logs than they are structure logs. I am actually going to do a little retrospective frame editing. And yes, this might be stupid, but giving a little bit more detail. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna grab our stone brick stairs and some stone brick. Place this. There we go. And then we're gonna grab a slab as well. Then I'm gonna use dark prismarine. Fill this in, and then we're gonna duplicate this on the other side. Go all the way down there. Here, fill this in as well. And here you can see this is basically kind of sewer grate garage type of detail here down at the bottom. You can also throw iron bars in. It just adds a little bit more of that detail. I think I'm gonna keep those. That's just some more detail, kind of make it look as though part of the stone brick chipped away. You can even do it sideways like that. It's a little bit more janky, but I'm going to keep it there just for demonstration. You can also do something like this. That's a more detail. End goal here is just some depth in your build. Windows on this side is a little bit of a tricky one. This 1x1 window, you throw that over trapdoor and then a fence gate, and that'll give you a nice protection. Also, on the end of all these logs, you can throw stone buttons on every single one. That'll help it come along. Next step for that, trapdoors can go on every side as well. Match that. And over here as well, we can match that. Alright, now we're going to do these bottom windows and add some detail here. You have a couple of options. I personally like to use trapdoors to add my details. That just adds a little bit of like more detailed texture that is normally not possible in Minecraft, obviously. And obviously you want to match this on the other side exactly as well. Hi, so my audio got corrupted from this point. I have a little bit of it retained in a further part of the video, but I have to go over this and do some more commentary at the end. Here I'm giving a little bit more detail on the bottom floor by adding in these walls and fences. You don't want to have a lot of open, flat space in your builds. And the wall and fence textures give it more detail, because in a Minecraft build, you really want to try to get rid of the blocky feel. Now, a few of you may have noticed that I actually built the windows off center by one, the side on the back. The back left window is 2 from the farther side, and the back right window is only 1 from the furthest side, which is really like messed with my head in editing, but somehow I didn't notice it in building. So now you've noticed it too. Now I'm giving it fences around the middle log. This gives it more depth and lets the second floor look less flat, because that was kind of a struggle we had on the back of the build. Just trying to get rid of how flat it all looks, especially since where I built my house, it's not in front of a mountain. It is somewhere where you would be able to see it if you were just going around your world. Now moving on to the roof. I wanted to do some windows, but not massive windows that distract and make it look unrealistic. So we just did some small, basically peak hole windows, which also will introduce some natural light into the build and will give it a little bit of a different texture on the backside. Now here we started adding leaves to the roof and around the sides of the house. This is definitely necessary for so many builds. Just adding these leaves can really transform it. It makes the roof look more textured, and it also gives it a greener feel, which fits in most places when it's on green grass. That green can really complement the surrounding buildings or trees if it's in a forest. Just kind of try to do it in long hanging vines, and then we continue this around on the second layer, as well as some bushes around the outside. You want to place things around the outside to make the floor look less boring. You can do this with bushes, you can do this with items, barrels, as you see we'll do in another couple of moments here. And then I like to surround my entire building with bone meal, which you will also see in a second. Here I decided to replace the trapdoor covers with campfires because I like how it looks. There's a little awning over each of the windows, and it also fits in with my house more, my other builds more. Here you can see me continuing that path around the front of the house, giving more texture and detail. I made sure to do the window, campfire, trapdoor on every single side, and here you can see me doing the barrels that I mentioned beforehand. This is really starting to come together, but as you'll see in a second, we add even more details to all of these barrels and everything exterior. You'll see we do campfire here, and then we put them all out. This kind of makes it look as though we have spare firewood or just wood around the house. And since it's the size of a half slab, it really adds just more and more texture. And if you've been paying attention, you know how important texture is. Here we're going to add candles and potted plants all around on top of most of these barrels. Flowers and candles really are just nice to see around the world. It's something that's very common in the real world to see just small things around.
What?
So here we're actually doing some grass for plants outside of each of the windows. Because of the fence gates, you cannot actually place flowers in these, but if you would rather have flowers outside of each of your windows, you can remove the not the trapdoors, the fence gates, and put them there. Here I brought out the middle just to match it a little and remembered to put the stone button on each side. And then we duplicated what was on the other side onto this side, completely including the grass block. And once we finish that, you can return to the original audio. Alright, and now that we are basically all done with the exterior of the house, we're just going to go around and do a little bit more decoration. This is more, instead of actual detail around the outside of the house, you just want to make sure to use bone meal. Tall grass and grass around the house really does make the house feel much more natural into the environment. You can also use leaves or bushes surrounding. I have tons of tutorials on my TikTok and in my YouTube shorts for all types of things that you can put around. For instance, you can use these logs or a cart like this, bells, street lamps, any of these just would look fantastic around the outside of your base. Make sure to check out my TikTok or my YouTube shorts for that. Got tons of tutorials on everything you see here. But yeah, all these, any of these carts really would just look great with this house. Just surrounding. Alright, and now with the path complete, connected to another build, I have this up on my words and TikTok as well. We have a nice little build here, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Let me know if you think there's anything I can do to improve with these types of builds, more specifically the videos portion. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I hope you would leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And depending on how this video does, maybe we'll do some more tutorials. But peace out and thank you.